Okay, hello everybody again. Now we're doing the Waking Dream, which is the last two bosses of Nyalotha, LFR of course. Just to show the fights, I'm not going to put myself out for anything particularly strenuous for these videos, at least not for the time being. I will let you watch the cutscene. So, that's the second to last boss of Nyalotha that we're about to fight. Hopefully we got a tank. Yes, we do. This trash is by far the worst trash in the dungeon, just because everybody's probably going to die to it. I'm not really going to have to do much of anything. As you can see, my big proc basically overtook everything. I'm just going to throw that halo out so that Holy Paladin doesn't get the wrong idea. Wouldn't want to look bad in an LFR. So this fight is fairly straightforward. Tank will, of course, tank the boss. Periodically, I think 2 members will get an AoE similar to Vexiona. We'll have to move out to the edge because it does stun both yourself and anybody else who is inside the AoE. As you can see, what the raid leader here is talking about, you'll see a shadow of a tentacle appear over the raid field. You move out the way of it, the tentacle will come down, and then you kill these little like boils or cysts that are on the tentacle, and then the tentacle will go back up, rinse and repeat until the boss enters phase 2, at which point we'll run through a door that's located over here. I'll show you that once we get there. Once we do though, we sort of run in, and then we'll run either to the left or the right, or possibly split up and do both at once, depending on what raid group you're in and how good the DPS is, where we will be killing these cysts that are on the walls of the room on the inside. Once all of the cysts have been taken down, we'll be able to do the second phase of this Fury of Nzoth creature. Then we'll move on to the third phase after a bit more tank and slap, where a bit more tentacle play, but the last part of it is pretty much child's play. I'll explain that when we get there. Looks like I am competing with a Disc Priest here, which is going to be rather annoying, because I can't put my Echo of Light on something if it's got a shield on it. Well, I can, but it's not going to heal anything because there's a shield there. There's the tentacle. Now, you might actually see that I am doing some cheesy heals right now. That is because I am trying to just get enough heals out so that I can overtake that stupid Disc Priest. But because there isn't enough damage going out, it's going to be pretty difficult for me to soak up those little hits of HP here and there, so I'm just going to be periodically casting group heals and hoping my Echo deals with it. There we go. There's the tentacle in the shadow. These are the cysts, the hemorrhages on the side there. Okay, so now we're on to the second phase. We sort of run through here. Once Rathian opens the way. Yep. And I will follow the tank. Looks like I chose the wrong way, because everybody else is going the other way. Just gonna start doing damage to these things. Gonna stand out the way so I can get mind bombed here. Looks like the other side's been done. So they should be catching up with us soon to deal with the rest of the cysts here. Now what I'm going to do is activate my cloak here just to get the full effect of that back. Don't want to be inside that. We will have people getting mind controlled soon, probably. Okay, so this is the third phase. I know I didn't really speak much of it. What's going to happen is we'll all get an AoE that we need to move out and spread out with. It will stun us for like a couple of seconds, and it will spawn like a Mind Flayer mob. At the same time, what's going to happen is a bunch of tentacles are going to spawn on the outside of the ring and try and flatten us all, so we need to make sure that we're both not inside the shadows and far enough apart that we don't detonate on one another. Okay, the tentacles did not come out at the same time. Might be just because it's LFR, but those are the Mind Flayer creatures I was talking about. Yes, I did activate my Holy Word Salvation there, and I did it solely to prevent either of these two from capturing those last little bits of HPS, just so I could be at the top of the meter. Totally a selfish act, had absolutely no value. But okay, so there's that fight. Pretty straightforward. We shouldn't detonate. Not bad. Yeah, as you can see, I do have a priest bias. Whenever I do see low-level priests, I always scan them to see if an item I've picked up is worthwhile for them. Just because. You may hear clicking sometimes. It's because I'm also lighting a cigarette at the same time. You'll just have to ignore it. Now, we need to split into two groups. On higher difficulties, you do need multiple groups for this, but in LFR, we do only need one group. What will happen is, when the boss fight starts, we'll all be pulled into like a vision, a horrific vision, where there'll be a bunch of tentacles all over the room, and one of those, essentially just the boss we just fought, it'll be kind of like one of them, will be right in front of us. The tank will need to kite that mini boss towards tentacles, and the DPS will have to kill the tentacle whilst the mini-boss is next to it to put a stacking debuff on it. The more tentacles it's killed by, the more damage it will take. And slowly but surely, that mini-boss will die. When that happens, we have to run back to the location the fight started as, so where I am right now, to click our ethereal bodies, and then we'll come back to the real world where we'll be able to do a bit of damage to the boss. The mini-boss, whilst inside the horrific vision, will periodically do this attack where he'll put a gross bit of corruption on the ground that spreads out into a big circle. We need to make sure that's not on everybody's bodies. Now, when we do get pulled back into the normal realm, we'll have a few seconds to fight the main boss. He'll then put the shield that he's currently got on him back on. A bunch of cysts will appear around the room, and we will be either pulled toward or pulled away from the boss. We need to kill the cysts, well, damage the cysts that are in our way, and run in the opposite direction of which direction the boss is going to pull us, to prevent us from standing in corruption and losing sanity. Once that's been done, 2 more tentacles will appear that need to be killed. Once they have been killed, one group will stay in this realm, whilst the other group enters a portal that will appear somewhere over here. When we do go down there, it'll essentially be the first phase of the fight again, where we'll enter a horrific vision and need to fight one of those mini-bosses by dragging him towards tentacles to put a stacking debuff on him. We essentially rinse and repeat that until he's on a much lower percentage. Once he is on a lower percentage, he'll switch tactics, where he will spawn a boss in the overworld, in the main fight, that has an AoE around him that does AoE sanity damage that the raid needs to stack in, and he will shoot lasers out of his eyes and rotate. Nothing too particularly stressful, but that's how it's going to go. Looks like I have been designated the top. I probably should have said that sooner, but I was busy talking to the camera. So by the looks of it, I'll be expected to stay outside, which means what I'll be doing is dispelling paranoia of people when they get it. Oh, I did forget to mention as well, during the period in which the tentacles are up in the overworld, they do this cast periodically where up to 6 people, I think, in groups of 2 will be chained together, and if you don't get close to your chained partner, you will take more damage. It has wiped so many groups I've seen, especially since other players who do not have a chain on them, if they run over you, you lose sanity like crazy, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, is a nightmare in LFR. But let's just see how this goes, eh? As and when it actually starts, that is. Give you a quick peek at what I run. Pretty standard for raids. And of course, those are the base stats I run there. That should be all the information you really need on my character build. Okay, So tank should grab this. I don't know what route he's going to take. Usually they just run a circle. No real need for me here right now. So I am just gonna dance circles. So this is the part where he'll be pulling you. He is gonna pull us away. You can tell by the way that the black arrow is pointing. You just need to make sure you're not in line with any of these creep tumors to make sure you don't take sanity damage. Here are the tentacles. As a healer, you probably want to be standing somewhere here so that you can heal the tank that should be running over here to tank this other tentacle. There's the corrupted mind, sorry, not paranoia, that's gone out. I'm going to have to use Divine Hymn here. And there's the portal. Now, I am not in the portal group, so I'll be running over here to a tentacle that spawns over here. You can see. Here's the second. Now these eyes are what's casting this, and they should be being interrupted. I'm going to have to use my neck. literally watching these eyes cast this debuff right now, and that's really stressful. I don't think half this raid knows what they're doing. That's the portal again. That was close. Should have been paying more attention there, but busy doing my disco healing. Good trick here, you can activate this neck piece whilst you're in this, so to prevent any loss of sanity there. Am I going to be able to get this halo off? Yes, thanks to that druid. This fight is taking way too long. And there we have it. That's the Nyalotha fight in a nutshell. I would have liked to show you the portal, but it's basically the first part of the fight just repeated. Now, I'll try not to talk over cutscenes in the upcoming expansion, but as it stands right now, if you've really not done the Nzoth fight, not done the Nyalotha raid, I'm sorry, but I really can't help you. The LFR is really easy to get through. Item level requirement of 430 when the max item level right now is what, 480 something. And I'm sure, of course, you can get a full cinematic walkthrough of all of this from YouTubers like Noble, who does the lore reviews and that sort of thing. I wish my Azurite Beam essence trait thingy was that powerful. Or wish I could even use it as a healer. I'm not allowed to have damage dealing abilities. And there we have it. Nothing particularly special. Not sure if I do get cores from LFR. No, I do not. What's his head looking like? File manipulator's hood. No problem. And there we have it. So, thanks again guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.